We are going book shopping to Barnes & Nobles and we're gonna do a little haul. I'll try to film as much as I can at the store, but yeah, my favorite thing to do is going shopping at Barnes & Nobles. So let's go get new books for the new year. Alright, so I am back from Barnes & Noble and I ended up getting 4 books there, but I have accumulated quite a few books that I want to show you. And yes, I'm officially on a book buying ban for like a month because I kind of overdid it. I feel like because it's a new year, I just feel like I needed new books, even though there's a lot of books back there that I have not read. One of those books gifted to me, actually quite a few were gifted to me. I'll kind of explain as I go. And then I got 4 at Barnes & Nobles and I have some other ones that I got off of Amazon. So let's start with the book haul. 1 or 2 books here that you guys might have already seen in another book haul that I did, but I can't quite remember. I know 99% of the books are definitely new that I just got. So let's start with this collection of Jane Austen works. This was gifted to me. I think I'm missing Persuasion right now. I have it in my office, but it's like the little one that goes over here. And then here we've got Sense and Sensibility. I said that one of my reading goals for this year is to get into more classics, so we're kind of working up to that goal. And then I also got Mansfield Park by Jane Austen. These editions are so pretty. Got Pride and Prejudice, which I already have, the Barnes & Nobles edition, but it's like really thick and big. The font on this book is pretty small, so I might end up getting the Penguin Classics for all of these, but these were gifted to me, so it would be cool to have like as a collectible. And then we've got the Northanger Abbey. This is pink. Lastly, another pink one, we've got Emma. This is one that I'm really excited to read. I almost got the Penguins Classics edition today, but I'm gonna try to read it this way first. The ones that I got at Barnes & Noble, starting with Play It As It Lays by Joan Didion. I've always wanted to read a book by her. It seems like the shortest one there is. I'm already on page, I think it's like page 30 at the moment. It's a very quick read. So far I really like it. It's kind of giving, I want to say, Taylor Jenkins Reid vibes, which I'm guessing this is an author that might have inspired TJR. So I'll read you guys the description real quick. It says, I realized this section of American life in the late 90s. Joan Didion's Play As It Lays captures the mood of an entire generation, plumbing the emptiness of ennui of seemingly bankrupt society and spare sentences that scar and disturb. I promise that when you actually read it, it's not as pretentious as it sounds. So far I'm really enjoying it. Set in the moral limbos of Hollywood, Las Vegas, and the Mojave Desert, Play It As It Lays remains more than 40 years after its original publication a profoundly unsettling novel, riveting its exploration of a woman in a society in crisis, stunning in the still startling intensity of his prose. The description is a lot more difficult to read than the actual book. I feel like if you read Taylor Jenkins Reid, think about Taylor Jenkins Reid writing a book like 40 years ago. It will sound a little bit like this, I swear. So far I'm enjoying it, and we'll see if I kind of get into it. I feel like this is a good first step to get into classic because it's not as hard to read as an actual classic. Then we've got 99% Mine by Sally Thorne. I haven't read a Sally Thorne book since I read The Hating Game. The Hating Game was actually one of my favorite romances at the end of 2021, and I couldn't stop talking about it. I still recommend that book to this day, but this one, the description is so freaking long, so let's just kind of power through it. This Darcy Barnett has undertaken a global survey of men. She's traveled the world. I can categorically say that no one measures up to Tom Valeska, whose only flaw is that Jamie, Darcy's twin brother, saw him first and claimed him forever as his best friend. Despite Darcy's best efforts, Tom's off-limits and loyal to her brother, 99%. That's the problem with finding her dream man at an age 8 and peaking in her photography career at age 20. Ever since, she's had to learn to settle for good enough. I'm not gonna read this entire description, but it is a brother's best friend trope, and it's a romance, cute little cheesy romance. I'm assuming it might be a little spicy because the Hating Game had a little bit of spice in it. But yeah, I'm excited to read this one. Then we've got Eyre, Sorrel Dance, Discover the Secrets of the Universe. This is kind of like an adventures book. I'm not really sure what it's about. It seems like a pretty fast read. I can't even talk. But I'm gonna read you guys the description. It says, Dante can swim, Eyre can't. Dante is articulate and self-assured. Eyre has a hard time with words and suffers from self-doubt. Dante gets lost in poetry and art. Eyre gets lost in thoughts of his older brother who's in prison. Dante is fair-skinned. Eyre's features are much darker. It seems that a boy like Dante, with his open and unique perspective on life, will be the last person to break down the walls that Eyre has built around himself. But against all odds, when Eyre and Dante meet, they develop an special bond that will teach them the most important truths of their lives that help define the people that they want to be. But there are big hurdles in their way, and only by believing in each other and the power of their friendship can Eyre and Dante emerge stronger on the other side. I have no idea what this book's about, but I'm intrigued. I've heard a lot of good things about it, and I'm kind of starting like a mini collection of Penguin classics. This is the first one, and now I'm kind of obsessed with the aesthetic of the books, and the font's like pretty nice to read too, so I'm probably gonna be reading this classic next. This is Jane Eyre by Charlotte Bronte. I think there's a Bronte sisters movie coming out that I'm kind of excited to watch, and I feel like I should at least read one of their books before I watch that movie. But I'll read you guys the description real quick, even though this is a classic and you guys can probably already Google it on your own. The screen has been kind of just like focusing all over, so let's do it. A novel of intense emotional power, heightened atmosphere, and fierce intelligence, Jane Eyre dazzle and shock readers with its passionate description of a woman's search for equality and freedom on her own terms. Its errant Jane endures loneliness and cruelty in the home of her heartless aunt and the cold surety of Lowood School. Her natural independence and spirit prove necessary when she takes a position as a governess on Thornfield Hall, when she finds love in her sardonic employer Rochester. The discovery of a shameful secret forces her to make a terrible choice. I'm gonna have getting a lot of spoilers for this book, and I mean, I can't get mad at that because this book is like hundreds of years old, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, this will be cool to read if I can actually finish a classic. By a Thread by Lucy Score. This is a grumpy plus romantic comedy. So I read Things We Never Got Over by Lucy Score. I wasn't a huge fan. I did give my review on this channel. I give it a 3 or 3.5 stars. I liked it. I really like her writing style, but that book specifically wasn't for me. This one I feel like I'm enjoying a lot more than that one, so I'll read you guys the description real quick. It says, Dominic, I got fired. Okay, so I had a bad day. Took it out on the bystander in a pizza shop, but there's nothing innocent about Ali Morales. She proves that the first day at her new job, in my office after being hired by my mother. So maybe her colorful, annoying, inexplicable, alluring personality brightens up magazine's office that have left like a person that have felt like a prison for the past year. Maybe like that, she argues with me in front of the editorial staff, and maybe after hours fantasies are haunted by those brown eyes and that sharp tongue. That doesn't mean that I'm going to be the next Russo man to take advantage of his position. I might be a second generation son of it, fill in the blank, but I'm not my father. So yeah, so that's like kind of like Dominic's perspective in the description. It's like a workplace romance, and I really like The Hating Game by Sally Thorne, so this will be fun to read. I'm actually already on page 118, so I'm going through it pretty fast. Reading this for a video, meaning I'm doing a reading vlog on it, so be on the lookout for that. Then we've got Love in the Time of Serial Killers. This is a really epic cover in my opinion. I heard a lot of good things about this book, or actually I heard a lot of mixed reviews on it during Halloween time. So I'll read you guys the description real quick. It says, PhD candidate Phoebe Walsh has always been obsessed with true crime. She's even analyzing the genre in her dissertation, if she can manage to finish writing it. It's hard to find the time while she spends the summer in Florida cleaning out her childhood home, dealing with her obnoxiously good-natured younger brother, and grappling with the complicated feelings of a mourning father she hadn't had a relationship with for years. It doesn't help that she's low-key convinced that her new neighbor, Sam Dennings, is a serial killer. He may dress casual by day, but at night he's clearly up to something. It's not long before Phoebe realizes that Sam might be something much scarier, a genuinely nice guy who can pierce her armor to reach her vulnerable heart. So I don't really know what this is about. It kind of sounds like a mystery book, but then also a little bit of a romance. Obsessed with the cover though, so excited to read that. The last 3 books of the Shatter Me series. So I was obsessed with, I think it's Ignite Me, and I just had to get the rest of the series. I'm not gonna really go into detail, but Shatter Me is about this girl that if you touch her, you can die, and it's pretty much like a dystopian series. It's really good, just look it up. I've talked about it in my channel quite a few times already, but I'm currently on book, I think this is like 4 or 5, Restore Me, and I'm on page 126. So this is Restore Me. I'm not sure about the order of this one, but then we've got Define Me and we've got Imagine Me, and I'm still deciding if I want to read the novellas or not. But yeah, I also ended up getting these books, and I think I have shown them on here, so that's what we're doing. 2 more books and we're gonna be done with this haul. So I've got a book that's really out of my comfort zone. I don't know if you've noticed, it's kind of a trend in this video that I have acquired a lot of books that are really out of my comfort zone, but I'm trying to like recommend more books to a wider audience on my channel. I wouldn't say like Jack Edwards, because his recommendations literally scare me. They're really good and out of my comfort zone, but I do want to be able to recommend books to like wider audience and not just like romance and fantasy books. With that being said, that's why you've seen a lot of books that are not usually something that I recommend on here. And one of those will be this one. Is A Little Life by Hanya. Do not know how to say her last name. So this is the cover. If you can say her last name, let me know in the comments. I do not want to get it wrong. But this won an award, I think. It won the National Book Award. I've read this book. It's really sad. Correct me if I'm wrong. It's quite a long read, but I'm really excited to get into this. I'll read you guys the description real quick. It says, a little life follows 4 college classmates broke, adrift, and buoyed only by their friendship and ambition as they move to New York in search of fame and fortune. While their relationships which are tinged by addiction, success, and pride deepen over the decades, the men are held together by their unspeakable childhood trauma, a hymn to brotherly bonds, and a magical expression of love in the 21st century. Hanya Y. Sunny's novel is about the families we're born into and those that we make for ourselves. So it's kind of like a found family situation, although I'm sure it's like not the type of found family that I'm thinking about. But yeah, I'm really excited to read this. And then lastly, we've got an ARC, and that means advanced reader's copy. Don't feel bad if you don't know what that means, because I found that recently. So yeah, so this is, I think it's a thriller. HarperCollins kindly sent me this book, and I honestly don't know what it's about, but I can kind of read you what's on the back. I think it comes out in May or April. Yeah, so I'm excited to read this. The font is pretty decent size, and it's like a really long book. It says, 2 hours to vanish. 10 Americans have been carefully selected to beta test a groundbreaking piece of spyware pioneered by tech wonderkind Cy Baxter in collaboration with the CIA. Fusion can track anyone on Earth, but it doesn't work. One chance to escape. Each participant is given 2 hours to go off grid and disappear. This is kind of sounding like it's a sci-fi book actually. And then 30 days to elude the highly sophisticated capture teams to send them to find them. Any series that beats Fusion will receive $3 million. If Cy's system prevails, he wins a $90 billion government contract to revolutionize surveillance forever. And then it says serial alternatives. For one contestant, an unassuming Boston librarian named Caitlin Day. The stakes are far higher than money, and her reasons for entering the test are more personal than anyone Imagine, Kaylee needs to win as badly as Sai needs to realize his own ambitions. They have no choice but to finish the game, and then when the time hits 0, there will only be one winner. This is kind of even like Hunger Games meets sci-fi. Definitely out of my comfort zone, so I'm excited to read this before it comes out. And I will say that's a pretty big book haul. We haven't done one this big in a while. And yeah, hold me accountable. I shouldn't buy another book until February 16th. Actually, there's one more book I have to show you. Oops. This is actually the last book, I promise. This is Once Upon a Broken Heart by Stephanie Garber. This is the author that wrote the Carnival series. This is a hardback. I'm not a huge fan of hardbacks, but I didn't want to wait until... Oh, that's cute. There's a little apple there. I didn't want to wait until the paperback came out because it doesn't come out until like March. And I've heard a lot of good things about this duology. Apparently, there's going to be a third book. I never really feel like reading the Carnival series because I've heard that there's a lot of mixed reviews about it. And then I heard that you can read this as a standalone, like not a standalone, but you can read this duology or trilogy as one whole series. So that's what I'm gonna be doing. I'm really tempted to just like drop my entire TBR and start reading this, but I'm not gonna do that because I need to pace myself and stop starting books without finishing them. I'll read you guys the description real quick. How far will you go for a happily ever after? For as long as she can remember, Evangeline Foxes believe in true love and happy endings, until she learns that the love of her life will marry another. Desperate to stop the wedding and to heal her wounded heart, Evangeline strikes a deal with the charismatic but wicked Prince of Hearts. In exchange for his help, he asks for three kisses to be given at the time and place of his choosing. But after Evangeline's first promised kiss, she learns that the bargain with an immoral is a dangerous game, and that the Prince of Hearts wants far more from her than she pledged. He has plans for Evangeline, plans that will either end in the greatest happily ever after or the most exquisite tragedy. So this sounds very interesting. I wanted to get a special edition, but this is the only one they had on Amazon, and my Barnes & Noble didn't carry the one, so excited to read this. And now we're actually done. So yeah, I need to stop buying books for like a month and actually read the books that I have. With that being said, we've come to the end of this video. Make sure to subscribe button, and I'll see you guys on the next video.